All right, welcome everybody to the second edition of Creator Café Sessions. My name is Crunchess, and I host these things. I have put together a series of educational presentations based solely on my own personal experience growing as a small streamer and rebranding as a content creator multiple times and learning how to grow a community. So I put these together to share with my community and with other content creators and streamers because we don't gatekeep in this house. So we like to make sure that we share our resources and our information and help educate those around us that want to grow. And so we're talking about chat engagement this week. So this week we are going to be looking at all the various ways that chat engagement can be helpful and the streamer's responsibility. The streamer's responsibility for procuring effective chat engagement. So getting started here, just a little bit about me. For those of you who are here, you obviously know who I am. If you are just finding us on YouTube or if you're here for the first time, my name is Charlie. Again, I've been streaming on Twitch for over 5 years. I'm a digital creator, somewhat of a content strategist, and I am a Twitch mom of I'm my community's Twitch mom, but I also give a lot of streamer advice and create safe space for my community as well. My mission here is to help small streamers and creators show up as their own authentic selves, set boundaries, and grow their content without losing their spark or sanity. So I think it's very, very important to make sure that you are managing not only your content, but your mental health and your well-being overall as well. So that's kind of what we prioritize here. One thing I say every time we get together, and I will continue to say it, is there is no such thing as a small streamer, just small mindset. So please keep that in mind. No such thing as a small streamer, just small mindset. Today, as we are talking about chat engagement, we are going to be going over these topics here. And I just realized that my camera is covering this, so please hold. We'll figure this out, I'm sure. Maybe if I put myself down here. There we go. See? The magic is in the mess. Okay, so we're going to be covering these topics today as we are going through this particular part of the session. Can you guys still see the presentation in Discord? Okay, good. All right, so we're going to go over understanding why chat engagement matters. We're going to learn strategies for natural, authentic interaction. We're going to build systems and rituals that boost chat energy. Identify what not to do so engagement doesn't feel forced. And we're going to leave with actionable tactics that you can try on your next stream. I'm very excited about this. Chat engagement is probably one of my favorite parts of learning how to build a community. And I think that chat engagement is something that I do particularly well. There's not a lot of things that I will toot my own horn about, but I think chat engagement is definitely one of my superpowers. And so I love speaking on this topic, and I love getting people ideas, and I like getting them energized and amped to try and hype up their chat as well, because streaming isn't just about going live. Streaming is about creating and fostering relationships with your viewers and your chatters. That is how you build community, and chat engagement is going to be a huge part of this. So we're going to go over, we're going to cover everything tonight. Please feel free to ask questions as we are going along. If I miss anything as we are coming across something, please feel free to ask afterwards. Also, I will open it up for Q&A if we don't get any questions during the session as well. What is the hardest part of engaging your chat right now? So for those of you who are here, for those of you who do stream, what do you personally feel is the hardest part of engaging your chat right now? Matter of fact, I think I'm going to switch windows for you guys so you guys can see me too. Change stream. Let me know if you guys can see that. Oop. Making sure not to miss someone saying something. Okay. smaller. Make this bigger. There we go. See, we'll figure this out. We're going to do it together. There we go. We're doing it together. Okay, so Death said making sure not to miss someone saying something. I think that's something that a lot of streamers struggle with. Getting people to engage at times. Okay, that's a good one. That's definitely a good one. Both of those are extremely valid, and I think both of those are things that every streamer struggles with. Especially if you are playing games that require an immense amount of concentration and that are usually high like energy, fast paced type thing. For example, if you're an FPS gamer, you're obviously going to be super locked in on whatever it is that you're doing, and engaging with chat is going to be extremely difficult. Keep talking, especially when you're a quiet one. Yep. All of these points, it's so interesting because all of these points that you guys brought up are definitely things that are going to be covered in this series. So it's not like you guys are unique in your concerns with chat engagement. I think, again, this is stuff that is very, very common that streamers struggle with when it comes to engaging their chat. So this isn't very far off. So chat engagement feels hard because awkward silences can feel longer on stream. It's one thing if you're sitting in a room by yourself, right? Nobody's expecting you to say anything if you're sitting in a room by yourself. But when you are streaming, there is this automatic pressure to perform because your job as a streamer is to entertain your viewers. You have to give them a reason to stay. You have to give your lurkers a reason to become viewers, a reason to become chatters, a reason to become followers, a reason to become subscribers, a reason to become community members. We talked about this in the last session where we talked about conversion, right? When we talked about branding ourselves and networking, and we talked about conversion being the important thing, and chat engagement is going to be a huge part of conversion, right? So when you're sitting in awkward silences, they can feel really, really, really bad when you're on stream, because there's going to be that struggle of my chat's dead, but you have to carry, right? You as the streamer, that is your responsibility. Your responsibility is to carry that chat. That is your job. And when the pressure's on and nothing's coming to mind and you don't have anything to talk about and the game really doesn't like lend itself to conversation, and I'm not talking about you just yapping to yap, I'm talking about conversation, getting somebody to feel incentivized to engage, to participate, to become part of the experience, right? Those silences feel like an elephant sitting on your chest. And it just a second feels like it lasts for an hour. Trying to force hype can feel fake. People can sense when you are literally just pulling shit out of your ass. They can sense when you are putting on a face. They can sense when you are putting on a mask. They can feel that on the other side of the screen. Okay. This is why we talk about making sure that you show up as your authentic self, playing games that you like, that you enjoy, creating an environment that works for you. Because if you're faking it, they will know. Okay. For neurospices and even for some neurotypicals, overstimulation and burnout can make talking more exhausting. There is such a thing as going nonverbal. If I'm overstimulated, I'm going nonverbal. Right? And that's just the thing. If I've had a rough week, if I've done too much at work, if I've got so much going on and, the cats are all over the place and Damien's asking for attention and there's stuff going on downstairs and I can't concentrate, that's all going to affect my mental. There's a lot that goes into keeping your chat engaged because that is something that you actually have to put mental energy and focus into. And if you don't have it, it's going to wear you out in 4K. And no systems or helpers means you're doing it all yourself. This is another big one for small streamers. And I think where a lot of smaller streamers or newer streamers struggle is in finding mods. We know that mods they hold a lot of importance in their role in terms of community engagement, in terms of presence, in terms of, keeping chat alive, fostering, welcoming people in and giving them a space. And if you're a smaller streamer, you're a newer streamer, you don't have mods, that can feel like a lot to take on yourself. But we're going to talk about how bots can help with a lot of that. And for those of you who enjoy quite a bit of time in my stream, you guys know that my bots do a lot of the heavy lifting also. So it's a shared responsibility between bots and mods. And when you can find that balance, it's just good. Your stream doesn't need a script, but it does need a pulse. That means it needs to be you. It absolutely needs to be you. If you hit the go live button and you're faking the funk, nobody's going to connect, especially not you. So if you're not connecting with your content, why should your audience, right? First impressions matter. Lead with your energy. I'm the biggest proponent of, if you are off, don't go on, period. If you are off, don't go on. Give yourself a night off. Do not hit the go live button if you are off, because your energy will translate through the other side of that screen, period. Let's get into the awkward silence problem. There's a couple of different ways that you can work through awkward silences. Okay. And these are probably some of my favorites. There are people that are really, really, really good at talking through their thought process and narrating what they're doing. Games like Minecraft, games like TFT, games like Magic the Gathering, any type of TCG, any type of RPG, any type of sim, I think is very easy for you to just talk through the gameplay. And that will create an environment of you actually being on and alive and somewhat, interactive. But it also breaks up the silence, right? So nobody wants to come into a stream and just watch somebody sitting there gaming. So if you're playing a game, again, that doesn't necessarily lend itself to much conversation. If you're walking through your process and what you're doing, let's take a TCG, for example. Let's say that Mishka is streaming Magic the Gathering, and he is walking through his thought process with his cards. He's reading the abilities. He's checking his opponent's cards. He's talking about, if I do this, they can do this. If I do this, I hit him for this much. I can take this out. And he's walking through his thought process. Somebody who clicked on his stream because he's streaming Magic the Gathering, either they know the game and they understand it, or they want to understand the game. They're going to start either, oh man, that was a really cool move. Oh, I would have done this. I would have probably done this. Oh, you could have hit him for so much more if you had done this. Hey, do you have this card in your deck? Do you run this? Do you run this commander? Or somebody who's not experienced with the game is going to ask you questions. How did you know to use this card? How did you know to activate this ability? How did you learn how to build your decks? That's the type of thing. So that's what brings chat engagement, and your engagement process with your chat is going to vary depending on what it is that you're doing. The content that you're currently working with is how you should be sculpting your method of chat engagement. Have a few easy backup prompts ready. These will take the guesswork out of engaging a quiet chat. Backup prompts. Frog Party is somebody who does this really well. And I think I spoke about this in the last session. Frog Party is somebody who does this really well. Frog has a question of the day that he prompts in his chat when people come in. And he asks them a question of the day, and it can't be a yes or no answer, right? So if you come in and you're engaging, he's like, hey, no pressure, but we do have a question of the day. If you want to take part, and answer this, like, what's your favorite board game or something like that? Something you can't answer yes or no to. Frog's really good about that. So you could have those on hand as like conversational icebreakers, but we'll talk about how those can also be a detriment to your stream if they're used incorrectly. So things like that, if they're used properly and they're used with very low pressure, can be very, very good at breaking the ice, especially with new viewers, chatters, and lurkers. Okay? The other thing that I like to do is when I go live in the mornings, I like to start thinking about what happened over the weekend. What happened the night before? What happened this morning as I was getting ready? What did I come across? Three topics, three things, three items that I can yap about by myself. Story time. Oh my God, you guys, the funniest thing happened last night. Dude, I was working out in the gym last night and I went to go do a deadlift and I couldn't pick it up. And then when I went and I looked at the weights, I realized that instead of lifting 235 pounds, I had 245 pounds on the bar. Trying to figure out why, but I guess my streams must be scuffed. So my workouts must be scuffed, right? So what rabbit hole did I go down at 2 a.m. last night? Absolutely. That actually worked out really well the other day for me, talking about a trip to a car museum and some story from the past. But that's the thing though, right? Because I think sometimes when you story tell from personal experience, you connect with your content. And I'm gonna keep I'm going to keep pressing on the point of connecting with your content. I have several of these educational topics ready to go where I'm going to literally harp on the aspect of connecting with your content. As a matter of fact, Jen and I were going over some scripting today about staying in your lane as a content creator and not just playing whatever game is popular right now because that's what everybody else is playing. If the game doesn't feel good, you're not going to enjoy playing it. Your chat's going to know. When you story tell from experience, it provokes the memories, it provokes the feelings, it provokes the connection, and that will translate to your chat. And it's either going to get them engaged, it's going to get them excited, it's going to get them involved. They're going to remember something that happened to them like that. They're going to ask additional questions about it. Like, people want to connect with their streamers more than just watching them play a video game. Again, you can go live and you can play video games, but this particular part, this particular aspect of content creation in a live setting is about creating real-time connections with people who will eventually become lurkers, viewers, chatters, followers, subscribers, community members, right? You have to foster that in them, and they need to be able to feel that you are genuine when you talk about these things, which is why when we do these things, I'll put slides together, yes, because it helps me keep my train of thought, but I'm sitting here yapping. I'm completely off script. I don't have notes over here in the back. I didn't have anything written down. I didn't have a plan going into this. What I had was fundamental key points that I wanted to talk about, and what I'm giving you guys is real, honest, genuine feedback from my own experience, and we're sharing right now as a community. So we're going to build upon that, and the same thing is very important when it comes to your chat. So I'm going to take this moment, and Death actually already shared something, but I'm going to take this moment. Let's have a reflection moment. What are some topics that you as a streamer could yap about comfortably that would bring out the energy in your chat? What types of things could you talk about perfectly fine all on your own? 10-minute story time, anything else like that, something that you are personally excited about that you think your chat and your community would come out of hiding and participate for. Honestly, I don't know. This is something I've been struggling with. I feel like I bore people. Okay, so I think that can, okay, so I don't think you're alone in that struggle. I don't think you're alone in that struggle, but I'm gonna point out one thing that you said specifically. I feel like I bore people. This isn't about them, okay? And I say this with love. This isn't about them. This isn't about them. When Nanera has to tell people what she's interested in, what she's excited about, what she loves, what she's passionate about. Those are the things that I'm talking about, because it's not the topic. It's going to be your energy. It's going to be your experience. It's going to be the way that you share it. Because I tell you what, listen, I would personally show up to a Nanera stream to listen to you talk about magic that you worked with a formula in a spreadsheet, because the way you describe it and the way you talk about it and the way you explain the problem and the way you light up when you talk about how you fixed it, and then if you potentially wanted to show it off with a signature Nanera giggle, that's what I'm showing up for. I don't care if I don't understand Excel. I don't care if I don't understand the spreadsheets. I don't care if I don't understand what it is that you're doing. I'm showing up and I'm engaging because there was something that happened that was exciting to you, and you felt like sharing that with us. You felt like sharing that moment with us. Some people are going to get it and some people are not. The idea, again, is to make sure that you are staying authentic to your content, and sharing your stories and sharing what you're excited about is part of your content. So don't worry about them. If you feel like you bore them, that's on them. Those are not your people. Lean into the hyperfixations of my boss's stupid stories. Who does not relate to a stupid boss story? Who would not come out of lurking to talk shit about a stupid boss? I'm just saying. I'd be there for the stupid boss. You saw the movie Horrible Bosses. They made a whole movie about it. I'm just saying, we've all had our share of stupid bosses. That makes you relatable. It makes you relatable. Period. Cooking, kitchen experience, years of experience in gaming as well. So, Death, I was in one of your streams. The other night. I think it was after you had first joined the community and you went live. I was hanging out in one of your streams. I was listening to you talk about food. What was interesting is, here's the thing. You were playing the game. You were getting into your game and you were having conversations and you were encouraging people to ask you. You said, I have X amount of years of experience as a chef. Come in and ask me anything. Ask me anything. AMA, ask me anything. I have X amount of experience. Ask me anything. Let's talk about food. Everybody can talk about food. Food's relatable. Food is a universal language. Food is a universal language. Music is a universal language. I think that's gold right there. And you take something that you're passionate about, and if you can layer that over a game that makes you feel kind of awkward about chat engagement, I think you've hit the mark right there. And your community will vibe with it, and they will let you know. Your community will let you know. I will say this every time. Your community will let you know, okay? But at the same time, you got to make sure you're staying true to yourself, because your people will find you through your authenticity. You never know who is browsing Twitch in a specific category and clicking on your stream to see what the vibe is. You never know. You have to act every time you go live, every time you talk about something, every time you are streaming to however many viewers. That view count is not indicative of the new people, the new faces who have found you somehow through the algorithm and clicked on your stream to do a vibe check. If you keep it in the back of your mind at all times that the potential for a vibe check happens every second, what vibe are you bringing to the table? Period. When I start running out of rabbit holes, I might bring up news or other people's experiences that I saw recently. Like I saw a woman on TikTok who went to pick up food and forgot to put on pants, and then talk about what I would do in that situation. And that's a brilliant idea. Doesn't even have to be your own experience. But you could definitely turn that into, hey, something happened to somebody else. And if that happened to me, I would do this, that, and the other. I don't know what I would do, or I would probably react like this. And I think that also sparks a relatable conversation. Situations that are embarrassing, completely relatable. Completely relatable. Absolutely. That is genius. Food is a love language. It absolutely is. So these are all really good things, but I want for you guys to get really, really comfortable in embracing the parts of you that you are excited about and set your chat on fire with that. Okay? Because let's be real. If you are coming to stream and you are being your authentic self and people are bored by you, those are not your people. Because if you flip the script and you try and bring stuff to chat that you think is going to appease them and you think is going to make them happy and you're faking the funk, you're going to burn out. I'm going to talk about this until I'm blue in the face. You have to stay authentic to yourself, because the more you mask for your chat to appease them, you are going to burn out a lot faster. I need to remember it's okay for me to take up space for myself and stop hiding. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is your space. That is your space. That is your space. That is not Foxy's space. That is not Crunchess' space. That's not Panda's space. That's not nobody's space. That is Nanera's space. Nanera has full rights to cultivate that space for her. Your community, your people will find you and they will appreciate you for that. The people like you and the people who are supposed to be a part of your community will find comfort and feel safe in that space. and they will plant roots and they will set up shop and they will find their corner in the basement and they will live there happily ever after. Period. I should not have had caffeine today. All right, so we're going to talk about building authentic engagement. You need more. Do you only have one monster today? Jesus. I had half an energy drink and I'm already here dealing with little flutters. All right, so if you've seen any of my recent TikToks, the one TikTok I posted about creating chat rituals is approaching 15,000 views. It is still being engaged. It is still being interacted with. I have no idea why the sauce hit different with this one, but we're going to dive into it here as a group, collectively, as a family. When we talk about creating rituals, you're talking about building something that your chat helped to build. When they feel like they are part of the experience, they are more invested in the outcome. I'll say that again. When they feel like they are part of the experience, they are more invested in the outcome. Okay? Rituals build a shared language for your community, and the best ones evolve naturally. Let them grow out of funny or memorable moments in stream rather than forcing them. I'm gonna take a minute and I'm just gonna ask, for those of you who are here, you guys spend a good amount of time in my streams. What are some of the rituals that you've seen we have collectively created as a community that have built over time and are something that are staples today? Walk-ons for people, yes. Checking in and customize incoming sounds, yep. The check-ins, yep, absolutely. Spicy scuff stinky checks. Yep, those two. The games, okay. A lot of the redeems. So Nanera touched on one thing specifically. 99% of them come from inside jokes, and she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Everything that you guys touch in my streams is 99% likely to have been developed through some interaction in my chat. Whether it was Panda, whether it was Nanera, whether it was Squirtle, whether it was Deborah, whether it was something that happened, during customs in Unite, whether it was something that happened on 1HP in a Dream. A lot of what you guys get to control in the stream has been a direct result of community lore and moments that we created together. And they live on as rituals and memories and community engagement in my streams. 1HP in a Scream. Oh, Death, I wish you could have been around for 1HP in a Dream days. I wish you could have been around for that. But yes, Nanera is absolutely correct. My stream is built purely on moments and memories that we have cultivated together as a community. So when we talk about rituals, we are looking at welcome phrases, inside jokes, and raid messages, okay? You get raid messages. We've talked about raid messages as part of your branding, right? But if you guys look at my raid messages, those have also been something we have developed together as a community, correct? Those were something that the community gave input on and feedback on, and we give them the choice. Welcome phrases, like what Death was saying, we have a welcome phrase for followers. I found, when I was going through my old hard drive, I found the script I made for it to remember. Do you happen to remember what your welcome phrase was, by the way? Like, you guys know, the new one, right? Is welcome to the Scuff Squad. We have chaos and cupcakes, and not necessarily in that order. Most of the time we're out of cupcakes, though. You know? But then we talk about the rituals, and going back to like what Nanera said, rituals give your community and your viewers an instant sense of belonging. And again, it's something that they helped create. They were part of that experience, so they are invested in the outcome. Cupcakes are a ritual in your stream itself. Yes, they are. I was talking about it the other day and forgot it, but remembered it for most of the next stream. That's fair. Your welcome and lurk messages have always mentioned them. Cupcakes have been around since the first iteration of Crunchess. Cupcakes have been around since the days of Contour and Crunchess, and cupcakes will never go away because cupcakes are actually the perfect cake, and you can fight me if you want, but I don't make the rules here. Thank you for the follow. Please leave your gear by the front gate. Come sit by the fire and chat a while. Welcome to Death's Bandit Camp. That's amazing. See, that's a good one. People remember shit like that. Like, I don't know if you guys, like, I don't know how many of you guys know who Arrow's Gaming is, but every time he enters a chat, he has this whole introduction he does for himself, and it makes him memorable. Mine has always been, hi, welcome, and I'm dead. That sounds like me. I theme my entire Discord around it as well. That's on brand. That is absolutely on brand, but people will remember that. He does it in mine as well. He does it everywhere. It's part of his branding. And I think it's genius because people remember who he is. But this is just to go and prove a point that rituals don't necessarily require a ton of effort. Rituals actually reduce effort because they fill silence naturally. So when we talk about, you know, co-working, obviously, I'm not talking a whole lot during co-working streams. And so there's a lot of silence to fill. And we have a lot of rituals in my stream that allow people to fill the silence or engage themselves without feeling like they're just sitting here staring at the streamer for 75 minutes at a time. All right, so let's go back to conversation starters as I'm choking on my water. Like I mentioned before, use fun prompts like question of the day, polls, and silly games. Okay, so question of the day, again, something I said Frog does really well. Have a question of the day ready. Have some type of icebreaker ready on hand. Put it in your stream title, pin it in chat. You know, that way people, if they're new here, if they're lurking, or they're here for the first time and they've just come in, they can see that you already have something for them, and it will give them a way to feel welcome and incentivize them to participate without necessarily putting them on the spot. Normally, pinned questions and comments are a good way to get people to engage in chat on their own volition. It's a very low pressure type thing. Okay, the pinned comment, the pinned chat can set the vibe, but it can also encourage immediate chat engagement. Okay, so that's why, like, every time something silly happens in chat, you guys see, like, I'll normally pin the message and stuff like that. That way, new viewers who come in, instant vibe check. What's the pin message of the day? Oh, cocks and balls, great. Bye. You know, or it turns into an instant follow. So but again, it sets the vibe. So make sure you guys take advantage of your pinned questions and comments as much as possible. Also, but polls are also a really good thing for chat engagement. And then silly games. So, you know, we have Wordle, obviously, during my co-working streams, but if you guys have chat bots that have other little games or other little, you know, just I forget what they're called, the little idler, the idling games like the fishing and the gourdlets and stuff like that, just things that can kind of encourage people to participate at their own pace. Throw conversational hooks, some will stick. Just say something off beat, try and catch your chat off guard. Make sure, you know, keep them on their toes a little bit. See if you can lure somebody out. How many times have you guys heard me say something really off the wall in a quiet moment, and then all of a sudden you see people come out of chat who've been lurking for like hours, right? Try throwing out some conversational hooks, all right? Sloppy soft toppy, please send help. Your random comments when I'm focused is hilarious. See, that's the thing though. That's the thing, though. You got to make sure people are still paying attention. Did I really hear her just say what she just said? Yes. And then there's also, the clip function that works. So, something that you could do, like a question of the day, what's the weirdest snack combo you swear by? And then you could throw out your conversational hook and be like, hot take, but I think peanut butter and mustard slaps on a hot dog. I'm just saying. People will come out swinging for that. Honestly, if you really want to engage people immediately off rip, and we talk about food being a universal language, just bring up anything from the food cube and throw it at chat. I'm just saying. I'll be knee deep in data and I'm like, wait, what the fuck did she just say? And the fact that we've known each other like for years, the fact that we've known each other for years and I still get you, that's, you gotta stay sharp, Create chaos your viewers can opt into. That type of shit. Use prompts and invite short answers for shy chatters to join in without feeling pressured. Again, pinned comments and questions will automatically set the stage for somebody to come into a stream and have purpose. Give them a reason to chat if they feel like it, so that they're not coming in trying to make awkward conversation with a streamer that they don't know. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, that is, if you are looking for an easy way off rip, use a pinned comment or question to get the conversation started, or have a list of them on standby and just ask them at random. I started doing that on my titles. Would having it posted to the top also be good? I think so, because not a whole lot of people will pay attention to the titles. I don't read a lot of titles. I'm not going to lie. I don't read a lot of titles. I look at the game that they're playing and then I look at their tags. I go straight for those who say safe space or LGBTQIA+, or Free Palestine and stuff like that. And then I go straight to their about. Like I barely read titles. But if somebody is rating in, like let's say they rated in with another streamer, they're not going to necessarily see your title. They will see the pinned comment in chat though. All right, so let's talk about talking to your chat versus talking at them. Talking to your chat is, hey, so-and-so, I saw your comment about your new puppy. What breed did you get? As opposed to, oh, thanks for the sub, and then just glossing right over it. Talking to your chat. Hey, so-and-so, that's a great point. How do you usually handle that? As opposed to talking at your chat, which is cool, with absolutely no follow-up. Taking in information and not giving a follow-up. I'm going to get a little bit more into detail in my thought process when I was putting this together. I love that idea, so-and-so. Tell me more. As opposed to talking at your chat, which is, yeah, without engaging the person or the idea. One of the common factors, before I point it out, what common factor do you see in the examples of talking to your chat that make it ideal for engagement? I want to see if you guys pick up on it. Using their name, okay. Get them talking about themselves, okay. Bingo. Bingo. Right there. Ask them a question that draws them in. Ask them an open-ended question. You can make a statement, you can use their name, and you can ask them about themselves. But what you want to do is when you are acknowledging somebody, when somebody comes into chat and says, hey, Crunchess, I'm really excited about this, this, and that. Instead of going, oh my God, that's really cool. And then moving on, that just ended the conversation. Okay? As opposed to saying, oh my God, that's really cool. What type of this? What type of this? When Foxy was talking about getting her new kittens, I asked the questions. What kind of cat? Oh, so you're getting 2 of them. Why didn't your mom want him to name him Calcifer? Does your mom not like anime? Questions. You can make a statement. You can acknowledge what they have shared with you. Questions keep the conversation going. Questions and sharing like information keep the conversation going. If somebody comes in and they share something with you and you do not immediately turn around and ask them an open-ended question which encourages them and draws the conversation out of them, you are missing out on an opportunity to make that person feel seen, make them feel special, and engage your chat. So that is the difference between talking to your chat versus talking at your chat. Also, if somebody comes in and gives you a sub, if they drop a prime, if they sub, if they gift a sub, hype them all the way up, please. Hype them all the way up. Give them that dopamine chase. We all know, listen, let's be real. We all know that people are not subbing to your channel for the emotes. Although the emotes are fun, they're not specifically going out of their way to sub to your channel for the emotes. They're not gifting 5 subs so that 5 other people can spam your emotes in another person's chat. They are doing it to feel seen. They are doing it to show their appreciation. And the least you could do as a streamer is hype that all the fucking way up, period. You should be grateful for every sub you get, regardless. And those people that give you their prime subs, because they get one, those people that give you their prime subs, hype them the fuck up, please. Hype them the fuck up, because that is an honor. They chose to use their one sub, their one prime sub. They chose to use it on you. Please hype them the fuck up. If I catch any of my people saying, oh, thanks for the sub, and then going right back to what they were doing, I will personally come over there. I will hop on a plane. I will go to Jen's house. I will grab her feet, and I will take her with me, and I will find you, and then I'm going to use Jen's feet to slap you upside the head and tell you to say thank you to the nice person who just gave you their prime. Is it okay to show that it flusters me? Yes, absolutely. Jen catching hella strays. I mean, at least let me keep my toes. No, they are coming with me. They're coming with me. I need the toes. The toes make the statement. But yes, it is absolutely okay to show that it flusters you. Nanera, how many times, okay, for everybody here has experienced it. I'm almost positive. How many times have you guys been in my chat and people have dropped subs or bits or started a hype train with the full intention of seeing me cry on stream? Bunch of times, tons of times. Yeah, exactly. They want to know that you genuinely appreciated that, because if I make the decision to give you my prime sub, I genuinely meant it. Match energy. Match energy. Please match energy. Please match energy. Please. Thank you for saying that. You are welcome. Currently at the point I hype all follows as if they were subs. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Because follows will eventually become subs if you do it right. I usually feel really guilty that I'm not super hype, especially when I'm lower energy, which is fine. And you can listen, be honest with people. You can let them know I'm vibrating on a lower level today, but I need you to know that my appreciation does not match my energy right now. My appreciation is at a 12 while my spoons are at a 2. Just know I love you at a 12. Period. Period. Acknowledge them. Let them know that they are seen in that moment, even though you cannot outwardly convey that. Some styles invite conversation and some end it. Don't intentionally harsh your chat's vibe. All right. So lurkers, as we obviously know, are the Twitch backbone. Lurkers are a huge part of Twitch viewership, even though it's currently under fire right now. Shout out to our view botters. They really, really, really do comprise the majority of potential when it comes to growing your community. So let's make sure that we are appreciating our lurkers as much as we are appreciating our chatters. Normalize it. Lurkers are welcome here, or we love our lurkers. I've seen a lot of people who have a timer on their bots that will say, we love our lurkers. Thank you so much for being here as a part of the community. I'll always mention it when somebody comes through with a raid, because if you are coming through with a raid and you don't know me and I don't know you, it can take a lot for people to hit that follow button and make that commitment. They don't want to be called out. They don't want to be perceived. They don't want to be recognized. They want a moment to kind of feel the vibe and get a feel for what it is that they're walking into. And that's totally okay. And you should acknowledge that they are there, that they exist, that is what they are doing, and that you are perfectly okay with it. Because sometimes even in that moment, understanding and appreciating and respecting that somebody might not yet be ready to hit that follow button and seek out that engagement or enter into engagement with the streamer, sometimes there's a lot of pressure on people to hit the follow button. Because if a streamer welcomes you in and they immediately follow it up with, hey, tell us how you found the channel, or, hey, tell us how you got here, or, tell me what your favorite color is or what your favorite Pokemon is, you're putting pressure on that person to perform in that moment, and they may not have been ready to. So give your lurkers permission to lurk. Just let them be. Avoid pressuring them to speak up. Let them know that you are completely okay with them just vibing, and you are here to provide the environment for them to do so. I make this face every time I say I'm going to lurk, and then the streamer proceeds to ask me 50 questions. Look, man, I just need to go poop. That part. I've gotten to the point where I'll just say lurk and then I leave, period. If you talk to me after I say I'm gone, and I think that's why it's very important for a lot of streamers to have that exclamation point lurk command, because that literally puts a period at the end of it, right? You can say, I'm going to go lurk, I got to go make dinner type stuff. And then somebody says, okay, enjoy your dinner and this, that, and the other. And then you feel compelled to, come back, just exclamation point lurk. And that's it. That lets the streamer know I'm gone. There are a few channels I don't lurk in anymore because the mods kept shouting me out just because I was in the user list. I hate that so much. Let lurkers lurk. Please don't do that. Started writing down different phrases for things to have to recognize lurkers, different follower phrases. I need to think up raid messages. Yes. And for lurkers, that's huge. Lurkers can become chatters when the vibe is right. Again, like I said, lurking is definitely, it's a vibe check. Is what it is. It's a vibe check. Stay out of your user list, by the way. Stay out of your user list. I'm talking to you. If you're one of those people, stay the fuck out of your user list. Knock it off. Stop it. That's not where your attention should be. Your attention should be on the people who are engaging you. Stop lurking in your users list. Stop it. That's weirdo behavior. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around on you guys. Why are lurkers an important part of your community? Your mic is peaking sometimes and cutting out. And it's because it's Discord. I'm also getting very passionate right now. I check my user list once a stream because I know my friends are lurking and it makes me feel like... That's so fair. That's so fair, but that's also what stream avatars is for. Oh. I started doing that instead. Yes, I check my user list at the start to make sure the damn bots are there. And that's fair. That's fair. Making sure your bots are there, that is absolutely fair. I just realized that I turned the air conditioning up when I went downstairs to eat dinner, and it's absolutely roasting me in my office right now. I turned that shit all the way down. So for you guys, why are lurkers an important part of your community? Why do you think lurkers are an important part of your community? In your own words, lurkers give you viewers. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And for anybody on a partner push, you guys know that the average viewers is the biggest thing that people struggle with. Because it's the one thing you cannot control. Period. Because lurkers are only going to lurk in safe spaces, but also being alone together. Yep, absolutely. Lots of lurkers are neurospicy. And the idea of just having background noise or a safe place to chill and enjoy the vibes is so key sometimes without the pressure of needing to engage. Lurkers are the ones who want to be there even if they can't participate. And the fact that they show up, the fact that they choose to show up to support you and to be in your space even when they can't actively engage. Y'all, if you are not giving your lurkers their flowers, I want you guys to think about that one right there. They are choosing to be there even though they cannot actively engage. They are the real MVPs. All right, bots and timers. I mentioned this earlier. Bots are chat sidekicks, not interruptions. Okay, so don't sit there and set your bot timers to just spam consistently. All right, because chat's going to get lost and it's going to get real hard for you to engage. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you have enough going on with your bots that they can be a supplement or an enhancement to your stream as opposed to a distraction and a deterrent. Set up fun timers, things like fun facts, questions, not just, hey, follow me or drop me a follow or it'd be real helpful to the channel if you follow. Those are okay. You can absolutely call to action, but it shouldn't be the only timer that you have set on your bot. Keep it natural, no robotic spam. Again, going back to the whole follow me here, follow me there, drop me a sub, use your Prime. I've been in streams where that's literally all it is. The bot timers are literally just self-promo. And while it is your stream, and that's great, we love to see the hustle and we respect it, it's not incentivizing your viewers to become chatters. I don't know what to tell you. Bots and timers can become a part of your chat's experience if you do it right. Now, I'm going to ask specifically this group right here, what are some of the best ways you've seen a bot or a timer call for engagement in a streamer's chat? Pedro party, not what you meant. Hydration reminders, yes. Yes. Hydration reminders are so good. I love the ones that are like, hey, it's been a minute. Have you hydrated? Have you stretched? Have you taken your meds? Remember to take care of yourself because sometimes we need that reminder, both as streamers and as viewers. I put that as a redeem for mine. Nice. I personally love Discord bot links over a command, but I know that's not for everyone. I want to be able to sneak in and not be called out in the stream. Discord bot links. What do we mean by Discord bot links? Explain. I'm curious. Like the Discord command instead of a timed invitation. Ah, yes. Yes. You know, it's funny because I'm the same way. I see, like, if I look in somebody's stream titles and they have a bunch of like commands and stuff right there, like the one for Discord, I don't want to have to go in and type that. I don't want to be perceived if I am trying to do a vibe check. I do not want to do that. I'm not here to chat. I'm literally just here to do my FBI investigation as part of my job. And I don't want to be called out. So having the socials, having the Discord, things like that on a timer as opposed to a command. Commands, here's my opinion. Hot take. All right, conversational hook right here. Hot take. Your commands should be reserved for actual chat engagement, not for ways for people to get to know you. Right? Does that make sense? Your commands should be reserved for actual chat engagement, not pieces of information that people can utilize to find out more about you. Run those on timers. Stop gatekeeping that information. Stop gatekeeping that information. Stop gatekeeping it. Stop gatekeeping it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. That's why people don't know how to find you, is because they are too fucking afraid of being called out in your chat and they want to know more about you and they can't, because the second they go into your chat and they type !Discord, they're going to be perceived. What about promotion of a stream team? Here's the thing. If it's anything that will provide any additional information about you where to find you, what you're involved in, or what you're offering. I really, really feel like those should be reserved for bot timers, and your actual chat engagement should be saved for commands. Because if you think about it, in essence, you are essentially gatekeeping the information on how people can better connect with you. What happens if somebody wants to learn more about your stream team while you're live in the middle of break and you're talking and they're not ready to have conversation, they don't know you, or they're busy and they drop exclamation point work in your chat? They've been perceived. Whether or not you engage them, okay, whether or not you engage them, they have immediately been perceived. And a lot of people have a very sensitive anxiety about even being identified as part of the chat when they are not actively engaging. I would say stop gatekeeping information. Anything that has to do with you, how to find you, what they should know about you, what you're involved in, any of that, that should be put on bot timers. That's a good point. Makes sense as someone who doesn't like to be perceived sometimes. Yep. You got to make it easier for people to make the decision to press that follow button and engage with your chat. They fully own that decision. You have to give them everything that they need in order to feel comfortable doing that. Because them making the decision to hit that follow button and engage in chat is huge. We have a couple, and I don't know if you guys have noticed recently, we have somebody new who just came into the chat, Olive Olafs. They followed. I didn't call them out. They barely engage in chat. They play contexto. They don't do any of the tasks. They're not very active. But when they check in, I say good morning, and they say good morning back. I respect their space. You have to let them feel comfortable engaging in your space. And if that means that you give them time to do so, like PDX. PDX doesn't do a whole lot of chatting, but PDX shows up for contexto. Okay? You've got to let people experience your space in the way that is most comfortable for them, because that's why it's safe to them. So just keep things like that in mind when we're talking about ways that people can get to know more about you and get enough information to educate themselves to make the decision to engage and interact and become a part of your community. But we love the people in our community who show up in any capacity. Doesn't even matter. All right, so teaching chat how to chat. Also part of your job as a streamer. You are responsible for modeling the vibe. If it's playful, if it's warm, if it's sarcastic, if it's cozy, if it's chaotic, if it's safe for work, if it's not safe for work, if it's family friendly, if it's not family friendly, and it's a Crunchess stream, if it's scuffed, if we're running a full-fledged broadcast here, like, you're responsible for setting that vibe. And again, your lurkers are going to check the vibe to make sure that it meshes with a stream or community or an environment that they're looking for, somewhere that they feel comfortable too. Okay? Chat's going to mirror your tone. my chat's a perfect example of that. Okay. Just a bunch of NSFW chaos gremlins that respect the shit out of each other, and they respect boundaries, and they respect human rights, and they are kind, and they are generous, but they are also very degenerate. And we love them for that. They are very quick to embrace each other as family, and even quicker to say that they're sorry. But chat mirrors your tone. You have to set that stage for them. You have to let them know what kind of a space, what kind of environment this is. And this is going to go back to me saying this is Nanera's space, right? You get to set the tone. If you're not going to stand for anybody's bullshit, you're not going to stand for anybody's bullshit. And chat is going to learn that that is the expectation when they show up in your chat. We don't sit here and we don't stand for the bullshit. Okay. If you're going to sit here and you're going to allow people to play and to flirt and be fun and have fun because it's a safe space, and because we don't kink shame, and because we're very neurospicy and kink friendly, but also there's boundaries and consent and people respect that very much, you have to be the one to set that tone. Okay. You have to lead by example. Chat is going to be a direct reflection of the streamer. And it's up to the streamer to determine what that reflection looks like. That's why it's very important, and I'm going to say it again, to make sure that you are connecting to your content and you are staying authentic to yourself. Because if you continue to mask for your chat and they serve it right back to you, it's not going to feel good at some point. Okay? So don't be afraid to set the bar, lead by example, and enforce the tone. And if the chatter doesn't like it, your stream might not be for them. Not every stream is every viewer, and that's okay. Absolutely. That's why I say your people will find you. Your people will find you. And if it's not for them, it's not for them. And you can't force it to be for them. And honestly, none of that matters. What matters is that when you hit the go live button, you get as much out of it as your chat does. Because you cannot continue to pour from an empty cup as a streamer. It doesn't work in the long run. I think I may have written this backwards. It should be, it's your space, not theirs, so create space for yourself. I may have written that backwards. I wonder what my thought process was. I think I might have been like running out of go juice at this point, but you guys know what I meant there. Potato, potato. Yeah, exactly. Don't let the game do the talking. That's your job. Again, it's on the streamer. You guys shouldn't just say, oh, well, if I'm playing Stardew Valley, they should expect to just, understand to show up and behave a certain way. No. Because Nanera and I played Stardew Valley and we were running around talking about all types of stuff that shouldn't be talked about during Stardew Valley gaming. Okay, we set the tone. The game doesn't set the expectation because we fucked up Minecraft pretty badly. Okay, there were chickens and an incident, and we can't go back on that server. So many chickens. Crimes against nature, yes, pretty much. All right, so let's talk about red flags and missteps when it comes to chat engagement. Things that you can actively avoid and prevent from happening in your stream to turn your chat off. Okay, so we're going to talk about the don'ts before we talk about the do's, because we're going to show you what's broken and how to fix it. Asking pointless questions every 5 minutes. If there was a larger version of faking the funk, this would be it. I cannot... If you are just going to sit there and ask questions that nobody cares about and that you don't even care about just to try and get people to type in your chat, you are going to lose a lot of people's interest really quickly. If you are not interested in the words that are coming out of your mouth, why should your chat be? Okay? If you're going to open your mouth to say something, make it count. Make it mean something. Make it authentic. This one right here, I think we touched on this one. I think we touched on this one earlier. Ignoring chat when you get busy. Bots and mods can help keep chat alive when you are otherwise engaged, but this is your stream. Let chat know that you appreciate them. I have seen people who play Pokemon Unite, who are in the middle of ranked matches, who are 5 stacking, who are doing tournaments, who are doing this, that, and the other, and they will have busy chats, and they will, whenever they get the chance, they will either have it on a timer, or a mod will put it in chat, or they will take the time to say, I'm locked in right now, guys. I love you and I appreciate you. I'll be with you as soon as the match is over. Your chat just wants to know that you acknowledge their existence. Just a second, y'all, I'm kind of in the middle of getting fucked up. I think that was an actual line I used. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, when I'm done getting my ass whooped, or when I'm done feeding to the enemy team over here, I'll be right with you. But I'm already on the struggle bus as it is. So, I mean, you guys see what it looks like when I'm made to Pedro party during a game. I cannot walk and chew bubblegum to save my life, which means I literally cannot keep up with chat. I think I did something stupid the other night because I looked at chat. Jen had said something in chat and I went and I looked at it and I think I fed. Something happened, but there's a couple of things that happen. Is one, if you're locked in, acknowledge chat and let them know that you're locked in and that you appreciate them being there. Or you could do what I do, is just laugh it off and just say, yep, that tracks. That is very on brand for me. I chose to pay attention to chat and I walked right into that. Okay. You can create a moment out of it. And then when you're on a 33-second respawn timer, like I usually am, you have 33 seconds to acknowledge your chat. Mods killing the vibe. I love my mods. I love my mods. I have the best mods. I really, really, really do. I have the best mods. And if you do not have my mods, I would be jealous because my mods are kind and they are welcoming and they are warm and they are funny and they are sincere and they are members of the community. They are members of the community. If your mods are not going out of their way to ensure that new viewers and community regulars aren't getting the same energy, you gotta fix it. If your mods aren't going out of their way. What did I need caffeine when I was making these? I'm not sure what happened here. Literally, let me break it down what I was trying to say here. There's a couple of streamers where I've stopped going to their streams. They're friends of mine, and I have stopped going to their streams because every time I go in to say hi, the mods talk around me to each other. If the streamer is busy and can't chat, the mod's job is to be welcoming. I have seen more often than not in my streams, if I've stepped away, if I'm doing something, if I'm locked in, if I'm otherwise indisposed or something's happening, one of the mods will step up and say, hey, welcome in, or, we get a raid and they're the first people to say welcome raiders, or, they'll say hi to people as they're coming into chat and they make them feel like they're part of the experience. I have stopped going to certain people's streams because I am tired of going in there and not being able to talk to the streamer, and the mods act like I do not exist and they are all in a BFF daisy chain with each other, jerking each other off in chat while everybody else is just sitting there. Don't do that. Do not do that. If your mods are not making people feel as welcome as you make them feel, if your mods are not here to make them feel as appreciated as you make them feel, if your mods are not a part of your community and engaging with your community, if your community doesn't know your mods in every other stream the same way that they know your mods in your stream, they are fucking doing it wrong. Get new fucking mods. Get new fucking mods. I've worked so hard to ensure that my mods understand the assignment and they understand the vibe and they understand the culture, and we are consistently communicating with each other what the expectations are, and we want our community to feel seen and to feel safe and to feel welcomed and to feel encouraged and to feel loved on. And I think my mods do an excellent job of that. So if your mods are the problem, fix it and you'll see it. You will absolutely see it. I'm also going to say, if you have mods that are ban happy, if you have mods that will take action without necessarily communicating either with other mods or asking you first, that can also become problematic unless you guys have already established a rule that you have a zero tolerance policy and they can appeal it later. But your mods are an actual representative of you. So if your mods are in other people's chat, and they know, like, if other people in that chat know your mods from this community or they know your mods from your community, they are a representation of you. Because I know that people will go and they'll see Nanera and be like, oh yeah, that's Crunchess mod. Or that's so-and-so's mod. Or they'll see Jen and it's like, oh yeah, Jen's the mod mother. She mods for X, Y, and Z. Like, you are a literal representation of your streamer every time you put that green sword on your name. So if you are not matching the streamer's energy and the streamer's vibe in setting the tone for the community, you are absolutely doing a disservice to the streamer. And streamers, if you are keeping those mods around, you are doing a disservice to your community. And it will reflect in the numbers eventually. It will absolutely reflect in the numbers eventually. That reply feature is super hot for when that happens. Give the special attention. Yes. The only mod I have on a semi-regular basis. Make sure to welcome everyone that comes through. So I made sure they know that's what I want. Even if he's in the middle of another conversation, he will make sure to engage with a new chatter. That's so huge. Just because you've modded someone doesn't mean they have to mod you too. The tones don't always flip the other way and you don't have to feel pressure to mod anyone. That one. Because just because somebody is a great chatter and a great community member doesn't necessarily mean they're going to make a great mod. And it's not follow for follow and it's not mod for mod. And it really shouldn't be. You really should be taking your time to hand select and hand curate your mods according to your community's vibes. Not all chatters make good mods, that part. All right, and this is another one that we talked about, letting your burnout win. If engaging chat is becoming exhausting, that's burnout creeping in. Prioritizing self-care will help you avoid making your chat feel like they're the problem. I'm guilty of it. I've done it before. I have pushed myself to press the go live button in the midst of burnout or exhaustion or being hangry or being premenstrual or just having a really bad fucking day and not necessarily feeling like I wanted to be on. And I did it for the community because that's what they expect. And it was not a good time. It's never a good time. And honestly, if you get to that point, you could get snappy, you could have a meltdown, you could end stream early. Some of your viewers, there's a potential for them to take that personally. And not like they did anything to cause it, but like for some people, if they're coming to your stream, they're coming because they want to switch their brain off. They want to have a good time. They want to be entertained. They want to vibe. They also had a bad day. They're looking for you to kind of brighten that up. And if you don't, you can add to that for them. And you can create some level of trauma for them. And it might not be a good experience or a good memory for them. And they will associate that with going to your stream. So if you're one of those people that doesn't know when to not go live in order to not burn out, and you're consistently just in a shit mood and they never know what kind of an attitude or mood they're going to get or what kind of energy they're going to get when they go to your stream, they'll stop coming. Prioritize self-care. Be okay with not going live. Be okay with using the @everyone in your Discord and saying, yo, not feeling good, gonna take a night off. My brain's doing some backwards somersaults in the mud today and it's not being very nice. Like, I don't know the last time I did that where somebody's come back and said, you know what, you're a fucking asshole. It's on your stream schedule. You should go live. It's never happened. Ever. So make sure that you are prioritizing yourself always, because once again, you're going to set the tone for your community. We can't sit here and provide a safe space and tell people to prioritize their own self-care, their mental health, their well-being if we're not doing the same for ourselves. And then we create a potentially toxic environment for the people that we promised a safe space in our communities. All right, so we're going to talk about some quick things that you can implement as soon as today or your next stream, just some little things that you can change just to start off while you guys think about the bigger picture when it comes to your chat engagement. Small changes can have a big impact. Trying one new thing anytime you go live can lead to long-standing community lore. We create lore almost every time we go live in this community, and it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with my community. But that's because of things like this. Add one ritual this week. Find something easy that you can step into that will give your chat something to remember. What would that look like? Is it a question of the day? Is it a new sound redeem? Is it a little idle game? Like what are we doing? If you could add one ritual this week, what would it be? And you can save this for homework if you want some time to think about it. But add one ritual this week. Think about what that might be. Think about your community. Think about the people in your community. Think about things that happen on a consistent basis. Think about things that have been long-standing memories or something that's an inside joke waiting to be turned into a channel point redeem. Set up 1 to 2 playful bot timers and or commands. So if you are one of those people that has an exclamation point Discord, and you don't have that same link accessible to people in a bot timer, set one of those up. Or set up a bot timer that gives a question of the day. Or set up a bot timer that says, hey, have you hydrated or taken your meds? Or have you checked in on, your cat lately? It's 3 p.m. Do you know where your cat is? That type of thing. Set up a couple of bot timers and commands that will help with chat engagement, but will also relieve some of the pressure off of you. Never underestimate someone wanting to pick fights with a bot in chat. That's engagement the algorithm looks for. I see you typing. I did add a rotating display of my pups pics. I noticed that. I think that's amazing. But yes, if you can, and regardless of your feelings on AI, if you are not a fan of AI, then don't. But if you don't have any feelings about it one way or the other, and you can appreciate AI from a tool perspective, or from an enhancement perspective, Frosty Tools is great. ReadyBot is great. There's a handful of bots out there that have AI based technology where your chat can engage and interact with them. And if you guys remember, Flimin was the one who started it in our chat, and then Jen took over and started picking fights with ScuffedBot. And it's hilarious to watch people go back and forth with ScuffedBot. And I'm just going to say this from a business perspective. As a content creator, if you are looking for growth, you need visibility. In order for you to get visibility on Twitch, you need to give the algorithm something, and that something is chat engagement. If your chat is popping off, if your chat is active, the algorithm says, wait a minute, there's something going on over here. Other people might want to participate in that. If you have people consistently asking your bot, hey, what kind of Pokemon would I be? That's chat engagement. If you get 30 minutes of that solid, the algorithm's over here going, hey, what's going on in this stream over here? Okay. But also at the same time, if you've got regulars that are picking fights with your bot in chat and you have lurkers that are seeing this, you have the potential to draw them out. Okay. Even if it's just to ask what bot that is, you have the potential to draw them out. Lean into your bots, lean into the technology, lean into the resources and the tools and the supplies that you have at your fingertips to make chat engagement work for you. Prepare 3 topics to yap about. This is something that anybody can do anytime that they go live. This is probably going to be the biggest one. This will probably be the easiest one. Have 3 topics on hand that you can just yap about, something that you're passionate or excited about, something that's authentic to you, something that you will connect with. A good rule of thumb is to have 3 conversation starts on hand or topics you can yap about comfortably by yourself for about 10 to 15 minutes. There was a day in time that I used to hit the go live button and Nanera would be the only person in my chat. And it would be one thing if I was just going to have a conversation with my bestie. It's not very welcoming to other chatters. Okay. That can look a little gatekeepy. However, Nanera served as a really great tool for me to start sharing stories. And I noticed that every time I went live and I shared a story about something Panda did or something Damien did or something, silly that I did or a mistake that I made, people were very, very invested in that. They loved showing up for story time. Okay. So if you have the ability when you go live, if nobody's there, if 1 or 2 people are there, y'all, I don't know what it is about waffles, but waffles absolutely fucking slap in the morning. Let me tell you about this waffle that I just had yesterday. I was at the grocery store and I was looking for my usual waffles and they didn't have them. But what I did see were these waffles over here. I'd never seen them before. So I picked them up and I was taking a look. Macros seemed on point. 12 grams of protein. The calories were a little bit high for my taste, but they were thick Belgian fluffy waffles with blueberries. And I was like, you know what? What's it going to hurt? Brought them home, obviously not knowing what to expect. Made the waffle, put my usual on it, got a little whipped cream, got a little strawberries going on, maybe a little chalky chips, okay? Making it feel like I'm at the restaurant. I'm treating myself on a Monday morning. And let me tell you, this waffle was superior to all waffle. You see what I'm doing here? Do you see what I'm doing here? We're talking about a waffle. Who gives a shit about the waffle? I give a shit about the waffle. My job is to make you give a shit about the waffle. Do you see how that happens? You guys have to be able to take something as small as your breakfast and make it something that you are passionate about in that moment and just yap about it. It doesn't have to be breakfast. It can be your cat, it can be your dog, it can be your new skincare routine, could be the weather outside lately and what it's doing, all of that different stuff. And if you have to write it down, write it down. Use the notes app in your phone. Have a notepad next to you when you get ready to hit the go live button, what am I going to talk about today? If you don't have anything to yap about from personal experience, what is something that you could take, like what Jen had said, that you saw on the internet or you saw happen to somebody else and you're like, I saw this happen, and if this had happened to me, this is what I would have done. I just had a really deep light bulb moment. Thank you. Do you care to share with the class? We love light bulb moments. Oh, she is typing. This is going to be good. I've been struggling with yapping and showing my passion, and it's part of why I feel so weird streaming. It just occurred to me that this is because of the burnout. My passion has been lacking while I've been in survival mode, and that's a really, really, really big acknowledgement for you. Because a lot of people struggle with feeling like they are failing as a streamer without taking the time to recognize that their brain is in need of a vacation. So I'm really, really, really glad that you were able to recognize that in yourself. And I hope that that means that you're going to give yourself some grace. But also is that moment right there could be something that you could come back to stream and yap about. Because I feel like we don't talk enough about our struggles as streamers and the things that we go through and our trains of thought, because now everybody just feels like it's just them and they're crazy and there's something wrong with them and they're failing as a streamer and they're struggling to stay on content. When in all reality, there's probably a lot of people out there in that same situation and they haven't gotten to that realization yet. So you talking about your experience actually might help somebody else too. But that is definitely something I could see you taking 10 to 15 minutes to share with your community about and talk about comfortably. Makes it so much easier to give myself grace. It's also hard to talk about those of us that look like we're fine when we're barely holding on. I really like this idea. Thank you. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. And this one, Death mentioned earlier, say their name. Please say their name. Please say their name. You guys have watched me struggle enough with new people who come in, but I always make it a point to identify people by their usernames, because if I can, listen, if being scuffed as a streamer allows me to create a moment out of meeting somebody new, they might take that with them forever. The fact, A, that I tried, B, that I asked, and C, that I am just so scuffed I can't even fucking get it right, but I never make assumptions on their behalf. Say their name. Create a moment when you meet somebody new in your chat. Make them feel seen, make them feel acknowledged, acknowledge their existence. They are an individual, they are unique in your chat. Make sure you are saying their name. Give them a sense of belonging. Because a lot of times when people are clicking around on streams, again, the vibe check, they want to see if it's someplace that they can set up shop, that they can plant roots, and that they can find their little corner of the basement and just stay there forever. Say their name. Even if you struggle with it, create that special moment where you let them know that it was important enough for you to try and get it right, even if it made you look like a jerk. There's some days I don't want to stream, so I let everyone know that I need to cancel for the night. You want to know, it's so funny. I think I was never okay with doing that until I saw Attica doing it. And then I was like, if Attica does it, I can do it too. Because Attica's an absolute fucking queen. So I took my cues from Attica. All right, so we're going to do a little question time. If you've had time to think about it. After the discussion that we've had tonight, what is one ritual, command, or habit that you could add to your stream this week? What would be one of the easiest things for you to do, for you to implement in your stream this week? Ritual or habit, thanking the lurkers. Yes. I love our lurkers, even though Twitch doesn't. You've already come up with a few lines? Oh, I love that. I just put in my timers where people can follow me. Yes. How about a cheap channel point redeem for people to check in with their mental? Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Honestly, mental health checkpoint. Absolutely. Yes. Timed bots for me for sure. Yes. Timed bots, probably the easiest. Probably the easiest. And also just maybe a quick question of the day. He's trying to throw pause. Can I get feedback on one of the lines? Absolutely. Absolutely. Throw it in here. Let's see it. They're marauders on their own missions, but come back to check in. We appreciate you for it. Keep lurking in the shadows. Ooh. Wait, is that if they use the exclamation point lurk? Is that what we're using it for? Oh, I love it. I love when people get original with their lurker messages. Honestly, I think that's so good. A, it's part of your branding. And B, again, people will remember that. I love that. It's so good. Foxy requests you come back to the squad den safely. Yes. Yes. I need to go through mine and double check them. I think mine has forever said, bring me back a cupcake. It's never going to change because we have chaos and cupcakes and sometimes we're out of cupcakes. You're throwing. This is one that's for me to remember to say while streaming because I need to make that a habit. And for those of you hanging out in camp doing your own thing, I appreciate you. Yes. The branding is so good. I think I'm using Frosty Tools for the lurk instead of having my own, which is fair. I think people think it's cool, but it loses a lot of the appeal, I think, of the uniqueness of branding. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. Like, I think the AI part of it is cool, but it's just me personally. Okay. It's just me personally. I think that there is a level of branding and uniqueness to things like your raid message, to your lurk message, things like that. I think there are things that should belong to you, and then AI can do the rest basically. Like when we get rated during co-working streams, we get an auto generated shout out, which is great because what that does is it creates an introduction for those people, because you might be getting rated by somebody you don't know. You might be getting rated by somebody you don't know. And AI does the work of putting together a little blurb about that person and making it a really cool intro for them. But when you have people that are regulars or they're part of your community or they've been around for a while, that personal touch, even with the exclamation point lurk command, I think is just, I don't know. For me, I think that's a little bit more endearing. Frosty Tools does that. Yes. All right, so to recap, chat engagement equals community growth, right? Because if your chat is not engaged, how do they know that they want to stick around and participate in this little experience with you? It is not about hype. It is about connection. It is about connecting with your content, and it is about connecting with your viewers, your chatters, your lurkers, your followers, your subscribers, and your community members. It is connection across the board. And if you are not connected to what you are putting out there, nobody else is going to connect to it either. Small tweaks can equal big shifts in energy. Just little things like what we're talking about implementing right now can probably create big shifts in energy. It can probably encourage more chat engagement. It can probably create opportunities for memories, for rituals, for lore, for, just inside jokes, things like that. So the more you have created opportunities for people to engage in chat, the more you are creating opportunities to create moments with your community. Without chat, streamers lose their purpose. So I want you guys to think about why chat engagement would be important for your growth, what that would mean for you as a streamer, as a content creator with your vision. All right. Final thoughts. I think the only thing I really want to leave you guys with is that while numbers may matter in terms of KPIs and metrics and analytics for the purposes of pursuing things like Twitch Partner, the only way you are going to be able to consistently push that number the right way on the scale is to create genuine, authentic connection with your chat. There's various ways that you can do that. Respecting your lurkers is going to be a big part of it. Making sure that you are acknowledging people who are choosing to actively show up and participate and engage. Creating and maintaining a safe space, whether it's through your own vibe, energy, tone, engagement, interaction, asking open-ended questions, or whether it's through your mods, or whether it's through your bots, or how accessible your information is, and how much of a safe space you've created for people who don't want to be perceived. This is all going to lend itself to growing fruitful relationships with the people who become members of your community. Your job is to maintain authenticity through consistency, and the right people will eventually find you and embed themselves in your community. What are your thoughts on secret bit donation redeems? I have a few clips that are hidden behind those certain donations. So I think that's fun. I think the problem with them being secret is that it doesn't really incentivize people to hit that number. And when it does happen, it's great and it's funny. But I've seen a lot of streamers where they will list out their bit and donation triggers, because what that does is it creates a sense of, I don't want to say FOMO, but like that desire to experience it. Like, oh my God, that would be funny. Like, especially the ones that have like the jump scares and stuff. Like, I don't know, if it's me and I really like a person, if I really, really, really like the streamer, I want to troll them as much as I possibly can. So if you give me the opportunity to cheer 666 bits and I'm going to jump scare the shit out of you, that's a dopamine chase for me. But if I don't know about it, it's like the secret menu at In-N-Out, right? So unless your community is consistently talking about it, or it's, you know, probably posted somewhere, it's a missed opportunity, I think. What do you think about having a distracted messages? What does that mean? Like a message that you're distracted? But again, Death, take everything I say with a grain of salt, because honestly, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. What you do with your stream, if your community is with it, if they enjoy that, if they appreciate that, that's great. For me, if I know what's there, if I can see the menu, I'm ordering one of everything that tickles my fancy right out the gate. This Foxy gets distracted quite easily, so be patient and bear with her. If she doesn't see your message the first time, please resend the question or response to just don't spam. Doesn't Attica have something like that? I think Attica has something like that, but that's because her chat is extremely busy. I think it's really good. Here's the thing. I love messages like that. And here's why. You are giving people permission to repost their chat so that they have a chance to be acknowledged by you. I love messages like that, because some people get really afraid. First of all, if you type something in chat and it gets glossed over and you're trying to talk to the streamer, that's a missed engagement, okay? And sometimes it feels bad, right? But not knowing whether or not the streamer or the mods are going to appreciate you reposting it, or they're going to see it as spam, you alleviating their anxiety and taking the guesswork out of it, I think is absolutely a beautiful fucking thing. I think that is a courtesy to your chat. I get nervous about reposting a message because I don't know if it was ignored or missing, if reposting would be offensive. No, I think giving people permission. I think giving people permission will relieve a lot of anxiety, and it will, again, you as the streamer, you set the tone. So if you let them know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable right off the bat, I think that's worth it, because some people like chat decorum is different from stream to stream, and it can vary from creator to creator. And then you also don't know, like, if you're new there and, you know, you don't want to tip the mods off and you don't want to have a bad first experience. Like, hey, I just followed here and I'm already getting bonked because I'm sitting here, being accused of spamming. I love those messages. Anything that you can do to let people know that it's okay, I think is good. All right, so this wraps the second Creator Cafe session. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. I want to thank you for your questions. I want to thank you for your engagement. I want to thank you for your support. And I want to thank you for just being open to the thoughts and ramblings that I put together just based on my own experience, my own hot takes, my own opinions, and my own controversial advice, as it were. But I do this out of the desire to see people grow themselves as streamers, because I think everybody brings something different to the table. And when we gatekeep our information and our resources, especially when we've lived these experiences, I think we do a disservice to our communities and to our fellow streamers. So I am more than happy to put these sessions together for you all. And I am so grateful for you guys consistently showing up. I will make the slides available in Discord for you to be able to download. The homework for this session is for you guys to pick a ritual that you want to implement into your chat. It can be one ritual, it can be 2 rituals, it can be however many, and implement them, and then let me know how it worked out for you. So we'll make sure that we go over that as well too. So make sure that you guys are posting in the homework channel in the Discord. This video will be going up on my YouTube channel. So if you ever want to go back, if you want to reference something, if you missed something, if you want to share this with anybody else that you think could benefit from this will be up on my YouTube channel. I want to thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.